and to award those that do the best. But it is to push forward the barriers of achievement and to get the best.
To the winning entries, what happens? What sort of remuneration do they get? What sort of recognition besides having a cup or an award? Do you give them financial assistance? What do you
They
give
get
them?
a trophy.
They get a trophy.
And a certificate, and that's all they get.
That's all they get.
Applause.
No, and probably cheers from their own advertising agency, that's an advertising, they all go happy. I think, can I come in and say that the main reason for this is we've got lots of young creative people, and their ambition is to write an award-winning campaign. And when they see their campaign that they were involved in winning the award, or their advertisement winning an award, it's a tremendous boost to the young creative people of this country.
What sort of changes have you seen in this award? And what sort of things are coming out? What's the favorites as far as this award is concerned? And Archie, I know you're past chairman of this award association.
Actually, the awards has grown in size and complexity quite a bit since when I was first involved in organising the awards. We've had numerous different venues, and we've had quite a few laughs in some of them. There was the 1 year when it was held at the National Sports Centre, and the video projection equipment was all mounted on a gantry, and of course shortly before the awards the entire thing collapsed, and demolishing all the equipment and leading to all sorts of problems. But the whole idea is, firstly, marketing, advertising is fun, and it should be fun. And this is the fun night for the industry in more ways than one. It's the time when the entire industry just lets its hair down and enjoys themselves. There's a keen age of competition, and the whole idea is to try and lift the standards of the advertising work, the quality of the advertising which is being done.
Curiously, do you have any recipients of your adverts judging them? I mean, you're judging yourselves. To what extent do you know you are making the correct impact? Before you answer that, Tommy, can I take another call? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, back to ethics. I'd like to find out from your panel there, what is so ethical about portraying Zimbabwe as a white country? In my family, for instance, we have a game where we actually count the number of whites in proportion to black of any other color. And is this an issue which is being discussed by advertisers, for instance? And perhaps it might be linked to, now I do having judges from South Africa?
Okay, thank you. That's a very interesting comment. I think it's something I had noticed too, particularly on hotel adverts. They was promoting the image of white people and the very few black people seen. What is the reason for this? I don't know. Creators, do you want to say anything, John?
No, I won't. I bounce it back to them because my the sort of advertising I create seems to create the right proportions. So straight back.
I think certainly on the advertising that's been entered in the awards in previous years, that hasn't happened. I mean, it is very definitely both cultures, and certainly in the last 2 to 3 years, very definitely, strongly towards both sides of our culture.
Yes.
I think so. My agency that I work for, when we're targeting an audience with the client's product, and that audience is white or black, or if you can segment it that, we use people from that audience to demonstrate this for you. Possibly the viewer may have not seen other media, probably cinema, rural cinema, places like that, doesn't listen to other radio programs at Radio 2, read magazines or newspapers targeted at certain sectors of the audience. So probably she's just looking at it from the point of view of the television and the daily press.
But you are getting more and more advertisements, I've noticed, with black and white Zimbabweans featuring together as Zimbabweans. And this should be the case, really. I think we should look at it in a Zimbabwean context, and rather than a black and white context, but that both black and white should feature in these advertisements. And I see of late more and more that this is actually happening.
But the proportions, there are more blacks than whites. I mean, this reflected in the adverts. There's going to be another phone call, so let me take that on before we expand this question. Hello? Hello? We've lost them. Hello? No, the proportions. I mean, is it reflective of society? Earlier on we said that we try to emulate society in adverts. Would you say that what's actually happening now is a reflection of society?
Some adverts, I think probably the proportion is wrong, but I think it's what we're talking about here is a division between two groups of people, and I think we're all Zimbabweans. And if people make commercials and they feature Zimbabweans in it, no matter what the colour, creed, race, religion is, I think that's what we're all about. This is the Zimbabwe culture. We're a multicultural society. And if one particular agency feels they want to use any particular race group in it, it's obviously for a reason. But we don't do it willy-nilly. We go into it and say, you know, who are we going to feature as models in this commercial? And we chose them very selectively.
Would you like to say anything about that, Archie?
Well, I think the specific commercials which were referred to by the person who called, personally, it is a series of ads which has always struck me as being highly inappropriate. My personal opinion, and I'm speaking here as another Joe Soap in the street, I don't like that series of commercials either. And I personally just turn around and say that is unprofessional marketing. Okay, that is one instance of a particular company who don't know what they want to do. They are combined with an agency who also are bankrupt of ideas, and the final product sucks, basically. Okay, I'm entitled to that opinion, and I think there's a lot of people who might agree with me, and anybody else here can say whatever the hell they like. But the fact of the matter is, in an ideal world, you know, professional marketing people have got professional objectives, and they should have professional agencies who should be able to advise them about these things. It's like what I was talking about earlier about the sums of money which are available for production overseas. No amount of big money is going to help you when you don't have an idea. If you've got an idea, you can make a great commercial, even if it's a small little commercial with very little money spent on it. If you've got a great idea and lots of money, you can blow their socks off. Okay, but unfortunately, it happens. I mean, there's ads do end up being made because of all sorts of reasons where perhaps sometimes a client actually takes over control of the creative process. You know, the old case of getting a dog and barking yourself, you know, and that's what you get.
To what extent do you have to fight against clients interfering with your creative aspect? Do you have to please the client's perception of how they think they want to market a particular product? I'd like Cass to come in on this, but before that we have to take another call.
Okay.
Hello?
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 Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I wanted to find out how does an ordinary person who sometimes has an idea of what to do for an advert get through to the advertiser? I'm architecture or the other that got an idea about doing an advert, this customer and advert for the job advert.
Okay, thank you. How does an ordinary person become a creative advertiser? She has an idea, a theme that she'd like to be projected. How does she go about translating it into reality? What does she do?
I would say that she phones the advertiser. It was for a particular service or product. Phoned around these people and said, here's a great idea. They would probably relay that to their advertising agencies, and they would look at it and see whether it was good enough to use.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Well, just to come back on that point with Archie, I also believe that if you feel that these adverts are derogatory or imply something, don't buy their products. But unfortunately, the situation is that it's usually monopoly industries who have that, and they haven't seen the power of advertising, because if they were in a competitive situation, they'd know that they're doing something wrong. And it's that sort of feedback that I think the advertising associations need, exactly what's happening here. And secondly, on the basis of clients, yes, we do fight all the time with clients, because they believe that they know what's right. And I think that most of the advertising agencies are equipped with people who have studied marketing and understand what's going on and where people need to position their products. And a lot of the clients seem to think they know exactly what it is. It's like going to the doctor and saying, I want this medicine, not getting diagnosed for what you want. And we do fight all the time. And that's another big problem we have. But we keep fighting, I mean, because, you know, we're right and they're wrong.
Can we take another call? Hello and good evening. Hello.
I'm just thinking about the kind of advertisements that can be on television in particular.
Okay.
I think Archie is quite right. there are a number of television advertisements that are really offensive. The gentleman there, whom I can't get the name of, talks about Zimbabwean culture. Is Zimbabwean culture about advertisements of blacks opening doors for whites? Is Zimbabwean culture about advertisements that are advertising things that are purely for blacks or a black consumer about whites? I don't understand that. If Zimbabwean culture is about whites opening doors, about the blacks opening doors for whites, then I think we have to do something about that culture. There certainly are a lot of advertisements that are badly biased, which are very, very much derogatory to the blacks, which unfortunately, as the other gentleman says, is unfortunate that we cannot do without the product and we have to buy the product.
Any comment? I think it was directed to you, or is it to you, Mike?
Could you summarize that quickly, because my earphone's not working?
No, what he was saying was that many of the adverts are culturally, they don't reflect culture, that they're racialistic in overtones, depicting black people opening doors for white people and that sort of thing, and he felt it was a negative aspect of advertising that wasn't necessarily reflecting what goes on. But I do disagree, because I'm sure that is what goes on, and perhaps what we should try to do is to change this situation where blacks are always the ones who are the subservient ones. Not saying that whites should be subservient too, but perhaps have more automatic doors.
No, you're quite right. You're quite right. That should be, that should be adjusted, and if that's still continuing, and obviously the gentleman is noticing that. Then, as Archie Sutton said earlier, just now, that both agencies and clients should wake up and start realising that we're living in Zimbabwe. And independence was in 1980, and orientate the advertising that way to 1992. So certainly no, that's a good point if that's the case.
And Tommy?
I think another factor as well, that any advertising medium can reject any advertisement without giving a reason. So if there's one particular commercial that the gentleman who just phoned is offended by, then he can phone the media and say, look, I'm unhappy with this.
Or you can phone ZBC or the Herald or Sunday Times or any
That's
other.
open to them.
Oh yes, that's right.
It is offensive. And then the ZBC or any of the media can sit in judgment and say, we find it offensive too, we're not allowing that to be appeared again.
To what extent do they use this prerogative of theirs? Do they know about it? They advertise, the media.
It's happened.
It's happened.
It happens. We know it's happened. And agencies have been phoned and saying there's a complaint, and the media has upheld that complaint. And please, we're not going to flight that advert anymore.
Well, okay, that's interesting. We're going to take another call. Hello and good evening. Hello?
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Mama, there's one comment that I would like to make. This is a very stimulating fact. But I think you made it, you keep on making certain errors, which I think need to be corrected.
Okay.
I watched it 5 times today. You interrupted one of your speakers during the, you asked him to make a comment. And while he's still making a comment, someone calls and they say, please hold on, I want to, there's a caller coming in. And you don't go back to let your speaker finish off his comment. And I think that is sort of spoiled a very good stimulating discussion.
Thank you. You should be the producer. Thank you for your comment. I'm sure I'll take that in cognizance next time. Anything else? What were we saying?
Interesting enough, at the awards, I believe there is a special award for the client who was brave enough to accept a campaign from an advertising agency that perhaps initially the client wasn't prepared to accept. You do get situations where an advertising agency presents a campaign and the client doesn't agree with it. But there are certain clients that the awards committee felt should get an award for being brave enough to accept a certain campaign. Is that right, Tommy? Maybe.
Yes, the Vision Award. We ask clients and we tell them to accept something that's alien to them, but we say it's right for them. And the client very nervously accepts that, and it becomes a success. And there's an award to present to that client for being brave enough to go along with whatever was presented to him.
Thank you so much for being with us, and unfortunately we've come to the end of our particular time. But what I'd have loved to pursue was this whole